So, I will be taking you through some of the challenges that we encountered while we carried out our project in the classroom. So, we all know that our project that we came up with was a picture word dictionary. So, we took our picture word dictionary into our classrooms to see how it would help better develop these children reading skills, right? So, we had encountered some challenges and I'm going to share them with you. So, the first major challenge that we encountered was that the children mostly rely on just looking at the picture. So, we found that they were not looking at the word, they were not trying to decode the words, they were not trying to use context clues, they were not using those different skills that we would want them to develop. They were just looking at the picture and they were calling the words right there. So sometimes, well, we had to put our hands over the picture so that they can use those skills, the decoding skills, the segmenting skill, the word clues, context clues to help them to pronounce or understand those unknown words, right? So we found that the picture was a disadvantage to them because it defeated the purpose of what we wanted our book to bring out, because we wanted our book to develop these skills so that they can pronounce the words and would in turn help them to be better readers. But in this case, they were just looking at the picture and calling the words because these were some pictures that they were familiar with. So that was one of the challenges that we had. Another challenge that we faced was that in two of the classes where we had presented our book or used our book in, we found that it had children whose first language was Spanish and not English. So they were still struggling to speak English. So they didn't understand the book fully well. They didn't understand the English because our picture word dictionary was in English. So that made us realize that we were not meeting the needs of those children. We didn't cater for the Spanish speaking countries, and that made our job of using the book very difficult, and we thought it didn't meet the purpose of what we wanted. We thought it didn't bring out the outcome because we now would have had to create a book that is catering to that Spanish speaking person's needs. The another challenge that we had faced was that the book that we created, it catered to a grade 3 classroom. But what we also found was that students or pupils in that grade 3 classroom, they were not up to par, or they were not at the level that they should have been in, or what a grade 3 child is expected to be at. So when we came into the class with our words and so on, we found that children were still struggling on identifying letters or knowing what this letter is or that letter is. So now teaching them the word didn't make any sense because we now had to go back to the alphabet card and have them identify and say their ABCs or their alphabet, because now this book that we had created was now too high for the level that they were at. Right? We found that it didn't cater to their needs. It wasn't meeting the needs of the persons who are now struggling or who are struggling to identify letters. So this here showed that we had to go back. We had to come up with new ways and look at each student and try to identify and improve the different things that is necessary so that we're catering to all of these students' needs. So these were the challenges that we faced in the classroom when we used our project, and we aim that on the next occasion or the next time we create a project like this, we would fix this and we would cater to all the needs of these students. Thank you.
I will be looking at what were the bright spots, and that is of using our picture dictionary in the classroom. So, my group members and I, we came up with three main points. So, the first one, the picture dictionary enables learners to identify and learn new words in a stimulating way. Secondly, it led to curiosity and classroom interaction as learners seem to enjoy using the picture dictionary. And lastly, the dictionary was a useful tool for introducing vocabulary and building confidence.
So I will be looking at what we could do next time in our project. Based on some of our challenges that we faced throughout this project, we have come up together as a group with some recommendation that can be done next time. So our first recommendation is that what we could have done is left out a few words without picture, because one of our main challenge was that the pupils mainly depend on on the picture to guess the word instead of focusing on the word and trying to segment and decoding the word on their own. So by leaving out a few pictures, you will allow them to use their decoding skill for them to put the word together and pronounce the word. Another thing that we could have done is include the word in segmented parts in phonemes in the dictionary. So this will make it quite easier for the pupils to blend the song and put the words together to figure out the word. Another recommendation that we have come up together with is was that we could have added a footnote with the word translated in Spanish and English, because when conducting this project, we were met with some students who language was Spanish, and it made it difficult for them to partake in the project because the words were in all English. So what we could have done next time was provide a translation of the word in both Spanish and English, and also we can provide short sentences for context. So another recommendation that we have came up with as a group based on our challenge, in which some of the words within the dictionary was above the pupil's language skill, is what we could have done is create level version of the dictionary, each targeting a different reading level, including simpler words and vocabulary for students with lower language skill, while we could have maintained the content to ensure inclusivity. So what could have done is that we have pupils within the different level, they have different language skills, and what could have been done is that we have a dictionary based on their language skills, not too high, not too complex, but just right for them.